Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Chris.
I'm Jasmine.
We're Sweet Simple Vegan and we're back with another exciting video for you today.
So today is all about easy 30-minute one-pot recipes, and all the recipes we're making today are actually veganized versions of recipes you're probably familiar with, so take it away, babe.
We love doing that and we're so excited to share these recipes with you guys. So first up we have a lentil and mushroom bolognese. It is so hearty, delicious, and coming from an Italian family, it's amore. It's amore.
The second recipe we're putting together is a simple vegetable noodle soup. So it's a one-pot recipe, you just chuck everything in, cook it, and it's done in less than 30 minutes.
So you have to like stand and like throw it in.
If you don't, it's not the right recipe, yeah.
And then lastly, we are making a mushroom stroganoff. It's creamy, it's simple, it's full of flavor, and I think it might be one of my favorites of these, but I mean, they're all good.
He ate the whole thing. We had leftovers. He's like, oh, do you want some of the stroganoff? I was like, oh no, I'm fine, I'll eat something else, because we had so many leftovers, and he ate the whole thing.
I literally just took the container and poured it into a bowl.
So I guess it was good.
Speaks for itself. But without further ado, let's get started.
The first recipe I'm putting together today is a lentil and mushroom bolognese sauce. So I'm starting with some vegetable broth. You can also use oil as well, along with onions and garlic. I'm going to cook this until the onions are translucent and the garlic is fragrant. And I'm also adding in some red pepper flakes as well. This is optional, but recommended. It doesn't really make the recipe spicy, but it adds the perfect kick. Next, I'm adding in some carrots, bell peppers, and celery. And again, I'm just going to cook these together until they become nice and soft. And lastly, I'm adding in some mushrooms that I finely chopped in a food processor. You can also chop it by hand, but the food processor is recommended. It's just a lot faster and easier to do. Next, I'm going to be adding in some white wine. And I tested this recipe with both red and white wine, and I prefer the white, but if you prefer red, you can totally use that as well. So I'm adding it in and I'm going to cook it until all of the liquid cooks off. So if you're new to cooking with alcohol, you don't need to worry about getting drunk off of these recipes. Once you cook everything down, the alcohol cooks off and the flavor stays there. So white wine is really good to add to recipes. I love the flavor it brings. Next, I'm adding in some crushed San Marzano tomatoes, and I'm just going to mix that through until everything is well combined. And I'm going to be adding in some bay leaves as well, along with vegetable broth or water, either work. And I'm just going to mix that through and allow all of this to simmer together for all of the flavors to marry and also for it to thicken up a bit. And lastly, I'm going to be adding in some cooked lentils, and this is really what gives it that meaty texture. I don't want to cook this in too much because I want them to keep their shape and their texture. So we're just going to allow that to cook together for a few minutes just so it absorbs the flavor. And last but not least, season it with salt and pepper to taste, and you can also top it with fresh herbs if you'd like as well. And that's it. You could serve this however you'd like. Our serving suggestion is over your favorite pasta with some vegan Parmesan cheese, and you're good to go.
Next, we're going to be cooking up this one-pot hearty vegetable noodle soup. It's perfect for winter nights or just about whenever, really. In a large pot, we'll add in some vegetable broth to saute our onions and garlic. We'll dice those up nice and finely, and then we'll also add in some red pepper flakes. We'll mix that through and make sure the vegetable broth is fully coated with the onions and garlic as it cooks. We can add more vegetable broth as needed, and then we'll allow the onions to become nice and translucent and the garlic fragrant. From there, we'll add in our carrots, and let one go astray there, as well as some celery. We'll continue to mix everything through until it's nice and combined. Next, we'll add in our potatoes. We're using russet potatoes, but you can also use Yukon Gold. And then we're adding in some lentils, as well as our pasta, some bay leaves, some thyme, and then we'll add in the remainder of the vegetable broth. And then we'll just mix that through so everything is nice and uniform. And then we'll bring our vegetable noodle soup to a boil. And once it gets nice and bubbly, we'll give it one more mix through. We'll bring it down to a simmer and we'll cover it for between 10 and 12 minutes or until the pasta is al dente. Doesn't that look so good? Oof, I just love soup. Next, we'll add in some chopped de-stemmed kale and we'll just mix that through. We want to make sure not to overcook it, and we just want it to be nice and soft. And then we're all done here. All we have to do is remove the bay leaf, of course, and then the thyme. And then we'll just season it with some salt and pepper to taste. I personally love black pepper, so I'll be loading it up with extra. And there you have it. You could top it with some vegan parm or croutons and enjoy.
The last recipe we're making today is a one-pot vegan mushroom stroganoff. So I'm starting off with some vegetable broth here. You can also use oil as well. And I'm going to add garlic and onions and just cook that until the onions are nice and translucent and the garlic is fragrant. And once everything is cooked, I'm going to throw in my mushrooms and again, cook that until the mushrooms become nice and browned and nice and soft. And I'm also adding in some flour here as well. And you can use any flour of your choice really. We're using this just to make sure everything is nice and thick once all the liquid gets added to the recipe. I want to make sure I cook the flour a bit before adding anything else. Next, I'm adding in some white wine. Again, like the other recipe, you don't have to worry about the alcohol content. This will cook down with the liquid and it'll be very tasty. I'm going to throw in some Dijon mustard along with some tamari or soy sauce, bay leaves, nutritional yeast, thyme, and some vegetable broth. And I'm actually going to mix the vegetable broth in slowly. So I'm adding about a third in, mixing it through until everything is nice and uniform, and continuing this until I have added all of the vegetable broth. Next, I'm adding in my pasta, again mixing that through until it is well combined, and then topping it with some black pepper. You can also do this later to taste as well. And I'm just going to bring this to a boil and then lower it to a simmer. And I'm mixing it often just to make sure no pasta sticks to the bottom of the pot. But basically, you're just going to cook this until the pasta is al dente and everything thickens up and becomes nice and creamy. And last but not least, I'm adding in some vegan sour cream to this recipe. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it adds the perfect tang, the perfect kick and creaminess, and it's just pretty dang good. So if you don't want to use sour cream, I actually have some recommendations in the blog post for other things that you can use. I serve this with some fresh parsley on top, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video.
If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, say hey, let us know your favorite recipe, video requests, whatever you want to leave.
Also, if you're new here, we post videos every Wednesday and Friday. If you want to subscribe, you can hit that button down below as well as the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. Yeah. What else we got going on?
I was just gonna say, we're here to make vegan living, plant-based living easy, approachable, and fun. So we hope that we are a good resource for you, that you enjoy our videos. And also, we're actually nominated for Best Blog 2020 by Veg News. So if you guys have a moment, if you could vote for us, it would be very much appreciated, very helpful. So I'll leave the link down below. We are on number 37.
Question number 37.
Question number 37. There are a lot of different other vegan categories there, products, people, things to check out. So if you are new to the vegan lifestyle, it's actually a good resource because you can scroll through it because the best of the best are included in there. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say.
Thank you guys for your love and support. We couldn't do this without you, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Have an awesome weekend, and see you then. Peace.
Bye.
Lentil and mushroom bolognese. You
You want to do it? Like mayonnaise, but bolognese.